Right now on KGW News at noon, we're getting new details on the kayaker who went missing at Willamette Falls, including what the last witness to see them told emergency responders. Plus, a standoff in northwest Portland that ended with police letting the suspect go, but led officers to back off. And later, officials in Union County are warning drivers not to trust their phones too much when navigating tricky weather. Your News at Noon starts right now. Thank you for joining us here at noon. I'm China Green. We begin with a helicopter crash near Amboy in Clark County, Washington. The sheriff's office says this happened near 449th Street and Northeast Yale Bridge Road around 6 o'clock last night. The two people inside the helicopter were able to escape the wreckage and were not injured. Firefighters found significant fuel leak after the crash, and the Department of Ecology is now cleaning it up. The NTSB is investigating what caused the crash. And we are also learning about an overnight crash in downtown Vancouver that sent one person to the hospital. Vancouver police say around 2:40 in the morning, officers responded to a collision at the intersection of Main Street and McCullough Boulevard in the Arnada neighborhood. When they got there, they found the driver on the ground 15 feet away from his truck. He was taken to a nearby hospital with serious injuries. Officers don't believe impairment is a factor. Several local businesses were also damaged in the crash. Vancouver police are investigating the cause. In Clackamas County, the search continues for a missing kayaker who went over Willamette Falls this weekend. We're learning new and harrowing details from witnesses about how it appears to have unfolded. Libby Dowsett has the update from Oregon City.
The Clackamas County Sheriff's Marine Unit says it was people camping near the railroad tracks in Oregon City who spotted a kayaker in distress just before 11 p.m. Saturday night. Witnesses heard yelling and spotted the 20-year-old California man trying to row himself to safety.
As the call taker was on the phone with the reporting party, they were describing him paddling and struggling, and then describing him going over the falls. So as they were in the middle of the 911 call, that's when he went over.
The Marine Unit saying the man was staying at a floating rental home near the Willamette Falls viewpoint in Oregon City. Residents there surprised they didn't hear anyone head out.
And I was up well before 10. I was up at 10:52, I think is when they said the call went in. And then I fell asleep, and then the next thing I know, 1 o'clock, maybe slightly after, the helicopters.
Coast Guard helicopters and law enforcement aircraft helped in the search. Marine crews looking for the victim in the river all the way to the Selwood Bridge. Investigators are still piecing together why the man headed out on the river so late.
There are a lot of signs warning that there's a waterfall ahead in this section of the river. Most are 6 to 8 feet tall. I don't know what kind of lighting he had with him, if any.
The Marine Unit says the summertime buoys and diversions are not in the water at the falls yet. It's too early in the season, but even if they were, they aren't meant to stop people from going over. The Marine Unit sergeant telling me in all his years of law enforcement, he's never seen anyone accidentally fall over these falls. And he said the man's body could still be in the falls, trapped underwater near the rocks. Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
You're watching eyewitness cell phone video that shows an armed suspect running from police on a busy block of restaurants and other businesses in northwest Portland early last night. Now, this led to a standoff that ended with police not arresting the suspect. This all started when police say an officer recognized the man as someone with a warrant at Northwest 21st Avenue and Hoyt. When they contacted the suspect, he sprayed the officer with pepper spray, lunged at them with a knife, and took off running. This is according to police. Now, police say less lethal ammunition and a taser did not stop the man. And all this occurred while people were in the area eating at local restaurants.
He ran towards us, but then the police were surrounding us and their guns were pointed towards him, which was next to us. So we got really scared. We got down on the ground and we crawled into the restaurant and hid inside the bathroom. We were then told that we needed to evacuate the place because the entire restaurant was glass. In case they shot, we had to leave. So we went through the back area into a neighboring bar.
After an hours-long standoff, police say it was best for them to walk away because the suspect was only aggressive to police. They said that they will develop a plan to arrest the suspect at a later date. All right, now turning to weather, we'll take a live look outside at the Oregon Zoo. What a beautiful day to go to the zoo. And it's crazy because I feel like sometimes when we look at this time, there's so many people and it's rainy and gloomy and Pacific Northwesty. And here we have this beautiful day and we saw one guy with his daughter. What are we doing, people?
Well,
get out to the zoo.
Oh, you're cracking me up. My first thought was there should be more people there, to your point, right? We are on track to be just a couple or a few degrees cooler than yesterday. And again, yesterday was 77 degrees. Hey, this morning, parts of the coast actually clouded up for a little while, and some of our cameras down in Lincoln County along the central coast actually showed a little bit of mist in the air, but for the most part, that is pushed out. You can see a low cloud deck out to sea right there. This is up in Astoria from the Astoria camera looking down over the bridge and the mouth of the Columbia River. A beautiful sunny day, 59 degrees. The winds have switched to the northwest today. Yesterday, they were easterly. And the northwest wind, especially along the coast, is a little bit cooler. But again, there's the cloud deck that is holding out to sea at noon with sunshine inland and 54 degrees with the northwest wind. I wanted to point this out. If you look over here, see the fire or the smoke from a fire? This is a camera from Aspen Lakes Golf Course in the Sisters area, and there you can see the snow-capped Three Sisters. So Deschutes National Forest saying they are doing a 60-acre prescribed burn in this area today. So nothing to worry about, but looks like we're getting into the season of prescribed burns in the Deschutes National Forest. Downtown Portland, beautiful. We're at 66 degrees. Lovely afternoon on the way. I have us warming up to 74. Yesterday, it was 77. Your complete forecast. Rain chances into Easter weekend. That's coming up with your 7-day.
Thank you, Rod. Here's a look at some national headlines for you this afternoon. A new memo signed by President Donald Trump designates a strip of land along the U.S.-Mexico border as a military base in order to deter illegal border crossings. It also orders the Pentagon to arrest anyone who crosses the border into that area for trespassing. The memo allows the military to get around the 19th century law that prohibits using the military in a law enforcement role on American soil. Legal experts say Trump's order will likely be challenged in court. Jury selection is underway today for Harvey Weinstein's new trial in New York City on sex crime charges. His retrial comes after a court of appeals overturned his 2020 rape conviction, and a New York City grand jury indicted him on new charges last September. In all, more than 80 women have accused Weinstein of sexual assault or harassment. He's repeatedly denied the claims, saying that the encounters were consensual. And cases of measles continue to increase in the U.S., with the Center for Disease Control confirming over 700 cases across 24 states. This is the highest number of cases in 6 years and marks an increase of 100 cases since last week. Most cases have been reported individuals under the age of 19 with at least 2 children from having died from measles-related causes. Health officials are urging parents to ensure their children are vaccinated. And those are a look at your national headlines. The Oregon State Hospital has a new acting superintendent after a, quote, unexpected patient death last month. Governor Tina Kotek tapped the former Oregon Health Authority CFO Dave Baden to take over the leadership. Change also follows the resignation of the interim superintendent of the hospital last week. The psychiatric hospital in Salem has been under scrutiny for patient safety, with 21 deaths reported over the last 5 years, including a patient who died in a seclusion room last month. 9 of those have been classified as unexpected deaths. A deadly and rare form of dementia has now turned up in 3 people in Hood River County over the past 8 months. Now, health officials say that there is no link between the cases. And we spoke to a neurologist at OHSU about how this disease works.
Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease is a very rare form of a dementia. Certain proteins called prions misfold and kind of cascade through the brain, causing damage as they go. This results in thinking difficulties, memory difficulties, movement problems.
Now, though the doctor we spoke to isn't familiar with the details of the cases in Hood River County, he says generally the disease is heartbreaking, always fatal, and has no cure.
I've seen a number of these cases, and they tend to hit hard because people who were very vibrant not so long ago, and sometimes at relatively young and productive times of life, just suddenly decompensate.
Experts say the risk of getting the disease remains extremely low, but doctors are still trying to figure out the cause. The city of Portland will soon take control of a tiny home village for homeless people in southwest Portland, and officials are planning to make major changes here. The village opened back in 2022. The Portland-based nonprofit Sunstone Way has run it since day one. Currently, Multnomah County holds the contract for this site, but starting July 1st, the city takes over. And they appear to want to replace Sunstone Way with the California-based group Urban Alchemy. But this puts the current Sunstone Way staff at risk of losing their jobs and has residents of the village worried about the future.
We will do everything we can to find other positions for folks within the agency, and those that we can't find a position for, we're going to have to look at doing layoffs.
Everybody's on a first name basis. You know, these people know these people that they deal with, you know, on a daily basis. But when you get all brand new people, everything just starts all over again.
Our team at The Story covered this extensively. You can watch their full report right now on our TV app, KGW+.